Hey, what's up, everyone? So, building on the theme from yesterday's video, which I spoke about how my team and I are building a specialist AI, not a generalist AI. If you haven't checked that out, you really should. The next obvious question becomes, well, why? Why AI? Why not in-person coaching? Why not do something similar to Viva? So, a Swiss-based firm that does sort of app-enabled in-person coaching. They team up with nutritionists, for example, deliver them to patients remotely across an app instead of having to travel and get together face to face. The simple answer to that is that's not scalable. That's logistically a nightmare. And I don't think it's the most intelligent approach. That's my personal bias. The other thing to keep in mind is that in-person coaching is fantastic. I've got no problem with it. It works superbly. It works for the cohort that are open to working with in-person coaches. Not everyone is. Those are the people that I'm after. So primarily, people who, look, everyone would benefit from in-person coaching, don't get me wrong. The thing that a coach does that is so beneficial is they help to plug, to solve that implementation gap. So they help to take all that great knowledge that's out there, that's being shared, and they can work with you as an individual within the confines of your chaos, your day-to-day life, stuff that you're trying to juggle, the plates that you're trying to spin. And they can come up with systems that help you achieve your goals in spite of the chaos that you're navigating, the plates that you're juggling, etc., etc. So coaches are fantastic. That much I want to be very clear. Coaches are fantastic. However, what we need to be mindful of is that the majority of people are not open to working with coaches. The reason for that is multifactorial. The key reasons that I'm looking to address are they don't feel that they have time in their schedule. They're just too busy. There's too much chaos. Trying to fit appointments in with in-person coaches, whether that's face-to-face, where you have to travel to each other, or it's virtually over a mobile app, Zoom call, or whatever the case may be. There's a scheduling logistical problem there that the people are just not willing to tackle. Rightly or wrongly, that's their reality. They're not willing to tackle the logistics of trying to make the schedules work. They feel that they've got too much going on. That's fine. Perfect. That's exactly the problem that we solve. Another reason people may balk at the idea of working with in-person coaches, whether face-to-face or remotely, but will be open to working with an app, is they're fearful of judgment. But people are people. And whether the coach is doing it or not, regardless, the person's fear of judgment, irrational as that may be, is a blocking factor. Right? But everyone will pick up an app. You're not actually dealing with another person as such. You interact with an app. And I think that's something that's fantastic about using AI as an assistant. I've been using AI as an assistant for just over a year now. Absolutely superb. In the end, the relationship becomes very much akin to what you would have with one of your mates. It's indistinguishable from the relationships you would have with a person, but it doesn't come with any of the judgment. There's no preset agendas, there's no conflicts of interest, etc., etc. It's purely there to help you. And that's exactly what we're building. We're building an AI that is purely there to help that individual user achieve their health goals. That's it. That's the sole purpose of its existence. That's all it's there for. There are no ulterior motives. There are no other agendas. There's no competing interests. There's none of that malarkey that comes with working with people. So automatically, that kind of person, the person who's fearful of judgment, opens right up to that. It becomes something that they're willing to give a try. And then there's also the personality clashes that you've got to consider, because as I've spoken about before in some of my earlier videos, any coach that who's worth their salt will interview clients to start with. They won't just jump in and work with a client. There'll be a feeler session, and you get the sense of whether you can work together. And what that really is, if you look at it from a psychology perspective, is you're seeing whether your personalities are compatible, right? You're seeing whether you're going to get along well enough to collaborate and actually get something positive out of this interaction. That is important, because if you're not going to get, if your personalities are going to clash, and we've all had those situations. You've had the colleague or the boss or the rival or the whatever, in whatever situation going through life, you think about it now, you'll be able to relate to what I'm saying. You've had those people who, for no real reason, no massive landmark event has happened, but you just don't get along. There's just something about you, something about them. You just rub each other up the wrong way without meaning to, without being facetious, without being sort of negative. You just do. You don't get along. Personalities clash, and that's fine. That's part and parcel of day-to-day life. It's just one of those realities. You cannot be all things to all people. It's not possible. But I can. It doesn't matter what your personality type is. You don't have to change your personality type. Our AI, the psychology enhancement part of it, is going to identify your personality type. It's going to identify your motivation styles. It's going to understand the little idiosyncrasies that make you you. And then based on the literature from differential psychology and cognitive behavioral therapy, it's going to then tailor its approach to suit you as the individual. It's going to tailor how it delivers its coaching to make sure that it is aligned with your personality, it is aligned with your motivation styles, it is aligned with the communication and soft skills necessary to get through to you. I think that is hugely important for ensuring that you adhere to the guidance that's given and get the results as a consequence of adherence. So, absolutely fantastic. So, we're going after the sort of people who would benefit from working with coach. And again, everyone, they purposely choose not to because they have these scheduling problems, they have these personality clash worries, they have these fears of judgment, etc., etc. So we're not competing with coaches. We're not taking away clients from coaches. Coaches can't reach this cohort. They try and they try and they try, but they can't get through to them because you can't convince those people, by and large, to take the risk. But I can convince them that an AI that is available 24/7 at their convenience, works with them around their chaos, understands, learns, and adapts to them as individuals and customizes its approach to them, and comes with no alternate agendas, no conflicting interests, no other things. It's just purely there to serve them and help them achieve their health goals. I can convince them to give that a try. So that's what I'm going after. So that's the first part. And the second part is scalability. So even if you were able to facilitate coaching via an app using people, you face a scalability because you cannot have people live on the other end of that app 24/7 at the behest of the user and what fits and suits the user. So what you end up doing is you end up having a situation where you're pre-recording content, pre-recording stuff, and then trying to get people to fit and sort of watch that and then use that. And it starts to lose its appeal. And the scalability thing becomes a very big. I had this when writing my books. And in my book, Conquering King's Stomach, I put together a 7-step framework that anyone could use to move from standard West diet to species appropriate diet. And it's a very good framework. There's a lot of thought, a lot of time into it. But it's very vanilla because it's not personalized to you in your individual, unique circumstance. It's done in such a way that anyone could use it and try and adapt it to their circumstance. Again, the execution problem is there because it relies on you sorting it out for yourself using some framework as a guidance, rather than saying, here's a tailored plan to suit just you. Let's go. And so I think that by using the AI interacts in real time. It interacts face to face, basically. It's like interacting with a person because it's real time conversation. You're asking questions, it's answering questions, it's asking you questions, it's listening to your answers, and it's sorting everything out according to what you need. And that is extremely powerful. It really is. It's a very powerful thing. What that lets you do is it lets you scale, where all of a sudden you can reach millions of people just as powerful as you can reach one. Think about that for a second. You can deliver that same quality of service to millions of people at the same time or in the same day as you would be able to do one-on-one with a person. If it was a person-to-person interaction on the other end of the phone, you can deliver that same quality, but you can do it at a scale that you just simply can't match. You can't match that with person-to-person. It's not possible. And I think that is, it's game-changing. So why AI? Well, it's because, one, we're going to reach the cohort of people that traditional human coaches cannot and do not, but those people would still benefit greatly from the value of a coaching service in solving the implementation gap. And then two, we're going to do it at a scale that in-person coaching simply cannot match. Not group coaching online, not nothing. You can't do it. You can't match it. We're going to blow it out of the water. But AI-centric, hyper-personalized, psychology-enhanced coaching is going to blow traditional coaching out of the water in those two regards. It's going to reach the majority of people who don't use coaches, where traditional coaches don't break into that water very easily. And then two, it's going to do it at a scale that traditional coaches simply cannot compete with any day of the week, twice on Sunday. Just can't. So that's why AI coaching. That's why we're building what we're building. We're taking all of the brilliant information that's out there, starting with the nutritional space and the psychology space, and we're bringing it together and we're delivering it in such a way that we reach people that traditional coaches can't reach, and we're doing it at a scale that no traditional coaching methods can compete with. So there it is. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out our website. It's linked in the description below, www.biosimtechnologies.com. You will see what we're up to, you will see what we're building, and you'll have the opportunity to sign up to our waiting list. We've got a crowdfunding campaign coming up, launching Cyber Monday, 1st of December 2025, where we're going to build our founding community, a community of backers that are going to help us get this beta platform developed and launched and take us to the next level. Look forward to having you on board.